How's it going? So last video, I went ahead and did a vacuum pump delete on my 2015 Chevy Silverado. It has the 5.3 in it, and this is gonna apply to pretty much any Chevy GMC with a 5.3 liter engine. Now today, I'm gonna be adding a oil catch can on top of my vacuum pump delete, and I will be showing you how I'm going to do that and run the lines today. On top of it, I also got my cover plate for where the vacuum pump sat, and then this is just extra reassurance for me. Also looks nice. I like that it's going to be there. So I'll go ahead and be installing this in this video as well. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now first things first, I'm going to be disconnecting these two hose clamps. Now it's going to be going from the airbox to your throttle body, and then there's also these two quick connects back here. One here, if I can get it undone, right there, and then there's one on this side as well. So we're just going to go ahead and undo those just so they're ready to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and undo these hose clamps and I'll get right back to you. All right, I now have that airbox taken out, and then I've accessed my throttle body and pretty much the rest of the front of the motor. Now, if you have the time, I would go ahead and clean that throttle body. They get pretty dirty. It's just 4 bolts and then an electrical connection. I would go ahead and just get that out of the way. I will also be taking this quick connect off for this fitting over here. And all you gotta do is just press in and pull up. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a pain, but mine are pretty easily, luckily. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take off this cover just so it's easier to get to everything, and then that way you guys can see what I'm doing. I have that cover off, and now we'll have a lot easier access to that other vacuum port that's on the side of your intake. I also have access to this vacuum port that you saw in the last video. Now again, I'm just gonna go ahead and press that quick connect fitting in and just pull it straight up and out. And I'm gonna go set this to the side. I have my oil catch can kit right here, and I will be putting some thread tape onto the end of the fittings that will go into the catch can. After that, I'll be also installing the mounting bracket on top of my catch can. How my hose is connected to the oil catch can. Just pay attention to which side is in and which side is out. Your catch can should be labeled which goes in and which is out. Installing this bracket now with the provided screws, but I'm also going to be throwing on some thread locker. My catch can is now ready to be mounted. I'm going to mount it right above the brake reservoir, right on to that bolt right there. Now to undo that, it's going to be a 13mm socket. I'll go ahead and go get that removed, and I'll go ahead and install it, and I'll show you when I'm done. I have my oil catch can about in place where I want it, but I'm going to leave it loose. I have the bolt tight, but not too tight, so I can still move it around because I still have to do some modifications to this. I will be removing the connectors that came with the kit, and I want to be installing the original OEM connectors. I just feel better about putting those on than I do these. I now have my original connection back on, and then I will follow this hose, and this hose goes in on the inside of the catch can. Your inside on your catch can goes to the port right underneath your throttle body. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my hose, put it on there, and then just push in and wait for that click. Go ahead and tug it back, make sure it doesn't come off, and then you're good with that. We're gonna pay attention to this outside because we're gonna be splitting the hose in the center somewhere, and we'll be adding a T-fitting. One side will go to the catch can, the other side will go to the hose that will run to the port right into the manifold. Another hose that goes from the last side of the T-fitting, and that will go right there underneath the sensor to the brake booster. So I'll go ahead and cut this and I'll get that ready. Right above the valve cover, you should have a hose that goes to a port underneath there. It's another quick connect fitting, so all you gotta do is push it in and pull out. I already disconnected it. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull this out and measure this out. Once you get it all measured out and then clamped together, you should have something that looks similar to this. Come to your brake booster over here, and we're gonna go ahead and pull this straight out. Be careful with your connector, and we'll go ahead and disconnect this as well. We're gonna go ahead and hook our hose up so we can simulate how far of a reach we have to the brake booster. Now for my line, I have the T right there. I'm gonna go ahead and set this right next to the brake booster, right there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and see how far of a hose we gotta cut. Now that you have your hose cut and hooked up to the T, you should go ahead and take off your sensor, and then go ahead and hook your sensor up to the other end of this hose. Once you're done with that, you should have a hose that looks like this. Side of the T should be coming from your oil catch can, tees off and goes to the sensor, which will go to your brake booster. Now on the other side of the T, this should go off and go to the port that is right above your valve cover. You should have something that looks similar to this. All my hoses are going to the corresponding places. My in will be going to that port underneath the throttle body. That is going alongside to the port above the valve cover. And then I have a T that goes off into the sensor that goes right back into the brake booster. I can go ahead and plug this back in. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up this bolt. It's 13 millimeter. Go ahead and set your oil catch can where you'd like it. And catch can is all tight. I have the decorative cover back on. I have this port back on. Now I'm gonna be putting this part of the intake back on. My hose clamps are now tight. And then don't forget to put these back on. Make sure you get a good snap from them, pull on them, make sure they don't come loose. And then now you're done with your oil catch can with vacuum pump delete. Now if you decide to stay, we do have the part where the vacuum pump did originally sit up here. My ports are closed off with those plugs, and I also just wanted to add this cover plate. I'll be installing that with these 4 Allen head bolts, and that is a number 5 for my bolts, and we'll go ahead and tighten those up. Do not over tighten them. It is aluminum and you will mess it up. You will strip them out. Just be careful tightening them. As you can see, I have all 4 of those bolts go ahead and started. I'm going to go ahead and tighten them up. All of my bolts are now tight and it is in place. That looks so much better than what it did. And start my truck to key to the on position and go ahead and start your engine. So far so good. Everything looks good. We want to go ahead and make sure we go ahead and press in the brakes. Make sure they feel good. Brakes feel great. Now we're all good to go.